All right, so today we're going to be talking about the Sword and Shield and the best PvP build for it. But before we get into that, I want to say two things. First of all, you guys might be wondering why I'm in this weird lawn chair. My other chair broke after 3 years. Don't worry, I ordered a new one. There should be maybe 1 to 2 more videos that you see me in this weird lawn chair, but it'll be gone soon. All right, guys. Second of all, don't forget to hit the like rating and leave a comment down below about what other content you want to see on the channel. Focus around New World or focus around other games, right? You know, New World's been in a slump recently, even though they just released a massive patch that I've been wanting to play. My server and a bunch of other servers have been just haywire, basically, for lack of a better word. So let me know what you guys want to see on the channel down below. And if you really like the content, maybe consider subscribing and becoming a member and checking out some of my live streams when I do stream here on the channel. All right, so now that intro's done and over with, let's get into the content. All right, so I kind of want to be quick with this because, like I said before, let's hit K, let's hit Sword and Shield. I don't know if the server's going to kick me out because they've been doing maintenance and a bunch of stuff. We had the bug where it's like your game goes forward 60 days and all that started happening after the Into the Void patch, the big patch that they released. They released the Void Gauntlet and a bunch of other stuff, which I kind of want to make a video talking about, like, my thoughts on it after a couple of days. I don't know if I'm going to release it before this video or after, but be expecting that. If it's already been out before this, you've seen it. If not, expect it soon. I kind of want to give my overview, talk about it, basically just give my opinion on everything that they're adding. All right, well, let's focus on the Sword and Shield. The first thing I want to talk about is something that's a little bit different with the Sword and Shield in comparison to the rest of the weapons. Pretty much is the Sword and Shield for PvE and PvP use 2 separate builds, because in PvE you use these Carnelian taunt gems, specifically in Defiant Stance, to taunt the mobs, right? And in PvP you cannot taunt humans, right? You cannot use the Carnelian in any way, shape, or form to taunt a person to attack you, like in League of Legends, where you use a taunt skill and they hit you. Here, the taunt Carnelian gem stuff is useless in PvP, so you will not be using Defiant Stance, even though in PvE as a tank, even though you're a tank in both of them, which is what I think the Sword and Shield should be used for only. If anyone has a problem with that, book it. Sword and Shield is just for tanking. You wouldn't even use a Carnelian gem in PvP, so you might have 2 swords, one for PvE, one for PvP, one that has a Carnelian and one that has that whatever gem you want to put in the weapon. If it's more offensive or defensive gem, you may choose whatever you prefer, right? With that being said, there are 2 separate builds. We're going to be covering the PvP one in this video. If you want a PvE one, remove this, add this, stay on this side of the tree, basically. All right. So with that being said, let's hop into the 3 skills. And the 3 skills you're going to want to pick up: Whirling Blade, Shield Rush, and Shield Bash. And you're going to want to be focused on the defender side of the tree because you want defensive formation, which basically, while blocking, while holding up your shield, reduces damage to all allies by 30% within 2 meters. And when you're holding up the shield, you basically see the giant circle around you, right? Some of you might be asking, well, why not Leaping Strike? Why not Reverse Stab over like Whirling Blade and stuff like that? You know, and why not it over any of these things? And why even defensive formation over leadership, right? Because bonus 10% damage while just holding a sword is really good. So the point is, just like in the last video, and you're going to be seeing gameplay footage and stuff like that on the screen, the Sword and Shield is a disruptive CC based weapon, and it's paired very well with the hammer in PvP because that is also a really good disruption based weapon. A lot of CC, a lot of debuff adders. Whirling Blade applies a rend for 5% for 10 seconds, which is massive, which lowers target defense and allows your teammates to do more damage to those targets. So the point is, of the Sword and Shield and of the hammer, is to apply a bunch of debuffs, disrupt people, CC them, and with all that CC, allow your teammates around you that can deal way more significant damage to kill them. And that's its objective in PvP, which is why you pick up Whirling Blade, Shield Bash, which basically stuns the foe for 2 seconds, and then Shield Rush, which knocks foes back and basically gives them a stun. All right, so now that we've covered the 3 main skills, I kind of want to start talking a little bit about these side traits and these perks and what the point is of picking these all up, right? So just like how it's called Defender Tree, all the perks you're picking up on this side of the tree are basically to make yourself way tankier. Gain 15 additional physical armor, reduce damage by all magical types by 10%, stamina damage is reduced by 50% when blocking melee attacks with a shield, stuff like that. You know, on block, gain 10% fortify, all incoming healing and regen increased by 10%. It's pretty simple. Your objective is to sit on the point in PvP and hold your shield up and use attacks, obviously, because you're going to be picking up perks like precision, which sword and shield's critical strike chance increased by 10%, 10 more damage to slowed enemies. When blocking an attack, gain a stack of empower for 5 seconds, which increases your damage up to 5 stacks. So with the sword and shield, you're mostly going to be tanking up and holding up and giving armor to everyone around you. But there are points after rending where you might want to put the shield down, slang and bang a little bit. And you need to know when to pick your times to attack, when to shield up. It's a very like tactical gameplay. It's like, I'd almost say it's similar to like playing Reinhardt in Overwatch, because he is a point tank that has a shield, and he needs to understand that sometimes you need to put the shield down and swing a little bit of damage, but you need to find the right times to do it. And that's what differentiates a good tank from like an amazing tank, right? All right, so now that we covered the build, I kind of want to talk about the attributes, and I think you should be probably running 250 strength, 250 con, which is the max skill that you can reach. And even with the nerf to 250 con, I still think it is worth hitting that as like a point tank. If you're a heavy tank, you want to hit 250 con, and hitting the 250 strength obviously is good for damage, but also really good for the stamina regen while hitting people. So you're going to hold your shield up, take some damage, lower your stamina a little bit, put it down, hit some swings just to help you regen, stand back up to pull back up your shield and go back to defending, right? So now that we covered attributes, as far as armor, void bend, I don't know how many. You're melee, like you're a tank. Void bend, you're gonna be on point, like pretty much, right? Full void bend, period. And like I said while explaining the skills, I think this is paired perfectly with a warhammer. You should probably be using a warhammer because it's a massive CC tool that goes well with another massive CC tool. It's really good for tanks, and this can probably be like your main damage source. When you switch off to drop all the skills, you can swing a little bit. It does significantly more AoE damage than the sword and shield does. Another great option for it is the hatchet, but the hatchet for the tank is more so of like just a sustain tool, because you can basically become invincible or invulnerable for a little bit of time. So you would like hold sword and shield up for the majority. When you're getting really low, swap over, basically become invincible or invulnerable, basically get your iframes and not die, and pop your skills, slang and bang a little bit, back up, switch back to the sword and shield back up again. All right, so I think that pretty much covers everything that I want to talk about with the sword and shield. So let's switch back over to the full screen. All right, so now that we're back in full screen / full cam and all that sort of stuff, thank you guys so much for all the love and support on the content. Let me know what you guys want to see down in the comments below. Stay tuned for that video in relation to talking about Into the Void. I don't know if it's, like I said, if it's going to come out before or after this, but stay tuned for it if you've already seen it. It's already come out. Thank you guys for watching the video. And before this video gets too long, peace out, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.
Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me.